For freshly brewed discussion on automotive sales and marketing, this is Coffee with Jason. The Coffee with Jason podcast is sponsored by Closer's Coffee. For that full-bodied, rich, sweet flavor with a bright acidity, drink Closer's Coffee, stay caffeinated, and keep on closing. Find out more at closerscoffee.ca.
Yeah.
But I think if you step back and before you even start to develop out your process, you take that time to develop out your team, then you start developing out the process. So let's say, hey, we took our first few months, we really got the team on board. Everybody is now, it was united. Is that what you, is it right? What would you say those first or everyone's aligned, right? We're all aligned now.
Yep.
So what would you say the first set of processes would look like to ensure that we're showing our dealership that we do, or customers that we do care and that we are empathetic to their needs?
Yeah. My first step, and it's not just because I operate a branding agency, but I believe that brand and understanding what your brand is actually about and doing the work to define the messaging, define the themes in there, because when you understand what your brand is or what you want it to be, right? Because you can develop a brand about what you want it to be. You can do that as well. When you do that work, you automatically get two benefits. Number one, you get alignment because it's clearly defined now. There's no more expectation of what I think it is. Well, what is it to you? Well, what is it to you? Right? So internally, you can't have that, right? Internally, you have to be like, look, I heard a great story. Do you guys have Chick-fil-A in Toronto?
No, we don't, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what it is?
Yep.
So Chick-fil-A, just restaurant, fast food chain that has insane customer loyalty, insane loyalty of their minimum wage employees. And, you would never think that you could operate a fast food restaurant like this. So they have this interesting concept where they talk about, as our leadership, we decide what we are about. And I'm not talking like macro, because it's a very, they hold a lot of close religious beliefs and all that, not macro, but like operationally, this is how we do it. And when they get all the senior executives in the room, everyone has a different nuance and idea of what they think it is or should be or could be, but they say, we are going to decide on what it is, right? So even if you think it should be something different, it is this. Even if you think it should be different, it is this, and that's a compromise. So the brand development exercises let your team know this is what we're about. This is the feeling we want people to have when they buy here, when they work here. Everything stems from that. So then as you develop processes, you say, does that line up with what we're about?
Yeah.
If we're going to answer phone script, does that line up with what we're about? Service intake process, does that line up with payroll, pay period, benefits? Does that line up with what we're about? Hiring, does it line up? And then the next step is like external. As we start to communicate this, what we're showing people, what we're telling people, what they hear when they walk in the building, what they feel just because of the pictures we have up. So the next step is the brand development process, because it's not marketing specific. Branding is defining your soul.